Welcome to Curious Caravan. I'm Jason, and with me is my co host Lizette. We're here to take you on a journey to America's most curious, quirky, and downright unforgettable spots.
Yep, so if you're into hidden gems, oddball attractions, and a little nostalgia, you're in the right place.
Let's dive right in to Curious Caravan. Well, TGIF, it's Friday again. How did we get the end of the week already? And we're midway through July. Where's the summer going?
It's all a blur. Honestly, after a vacation and some time off, I've just been feet to
Go,
the
go,
pavement.
going, go, going. Well, I thought it was really funny that we're in July, and as excited as I am for fall, because I'm a fall person, I've noticed that pumpkin spice is already popping up everywhere in the stores. And I was like, I think we are still a little too early for the pumpkin spice train, but it's showing up. I guess it's fall somewhere.
It's gotta be because Home Goods tells me it's already Halloween. So
Oh, well, they just love to get going on it. Well, and speaking of summer vacations, our
Mhm.
very own Lizette has returned from her own vacation,
Yes,
and this time from across the Great Pond, doing a
truly.
little European adventure, which I'm excited to dive into today. You went to Amsterdam, you went to London. I mean, let's just dive into it. You stayed at like a hostel, right, in Amsterdam?
I stayed at it. It's called Bunk Hotel, but it's kind of this hostel like vibe because you can get pods. You can stay.
Oh.
Yeah, there's like almost a bunk bed type thing. If you are into that, I was not. I got a private room with my friends, but it's so unique. When looking at Amsterdam, I think Amsterdam's one of those places where it's just quirky and retro. I mean, I was walking around and I felt like it was Y2K. It's that vibe. So Bunk, they had like a dinosaur in the entryway.
Oh,
It had a cafe, like you can grab a little beverage, on the way out. It was incredible. I liked it a lot.
would
Great
you
place to stay.
would you say it's more of a budget-friendly stay for people who are looking for like a
Yes.
way to like cut costs while still enjoying, Amsterdam?
Yes. Yes. So it's when looking at, kind of planning this itinerary because I am the planner of the friend group and I did it like insanely. I was looking at so many different options that were city center and they were astronomically high considering it's, summertime and price spikes. So this was a little north of city center and across the river. So I will not even try to pronounce the name because I do not speak Dutch. But it was incredible. It was a great stay. It was a quiet neighborhood. It was a little weird to get from the airport to it. A little confusing because one thing we didn't know about Amsterdam is there is the train and then there's the metro, and they are separate things. They are,
Oh,
yeah, one would think they are the exact same thing. So we got off the plane, we headed to the train is long-term journeys, like, think airport to city center or city center to other country. That is the train.
okay.
And then the metro is internal cities. So, like public transportation and getting from one part of the town to the next. So, we didn't know this. So, we're sitting there for 45 minutes at the train looking at where to get to the metro, I guess, because on Apple Maps, you can kind of get directions via train and it will guide you like perfectly. So we were sitting there for 45 minutes trying to scan in to get the metro and it didn't work. Finally, I just kind of went up to someone and I was like, "Hey, like trying to figure this out. How do I get there?" And they told us to buy a pass and we did. And yeah, so it was a little confusing and we walked through what felt like a neighborhood to get to Bunk, but it was still incredible. It was awesome. Quiet,
So
not too crazy, and still easy to get to city center.
so be aware, folks, there's a difference between the train and the metro, and if you're visiting
Yes.
Amsterdam, we highly recommend getting a metro pass.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
Now, if you could say your top experiences during your
Ooh,
time in Amsterdam? I mean,
it's so hard.
you did tell me you went on a Heineken brewery tour.
Oh, that was incredible. It seems so touristy to go on, but it
Hmm.
was incredible. You saw how they made it. Obviously you get one of those traditional brewery tours, you get to walk through,
Sure.
and it's not even like you get to see them making it. I've been to those brewery tours where it's an active brewery. This one's kind of inactive. It's more of a museum style. Towards the end, if you do the experience, you kind of go through this big room where it's all of these panels, wall-to-wall panels of just like a screen, and you get to pretend to be the beer bottle being bottled up, and you exit, and they've got this photo opportunity where, you're riding a bicycle or you're just taking like a little photo booth photo with your friends. And then afterwards, they've got like a rooftop bar. So it's really great. It's just a fun experience. I was the only one living my best life, and I pretended to like stir the brew in my group. And I was like, okay, here I am.
Did they have different like flavors of Heineken that you might not get off the shelf, or was it just like samples of like the Heineken beer?
I want to say it was more of the traditional Heineken where they're brewing
Uh-huh.
it. It was a little different. I can't remember the exact like line of it. They also had the non-alcoholic option. They also
Oh,
had
well, where's the fun in that?
I know, but it was there for anyone
But
who
it's an
needed it.
option. It's an option. It's an
Exactly.
option.
And
And that is important.
you get a free two drinks when you book the tour too. So we were chugging our super fast because silly of us to have booked that. And then right after we booked the Van Gogh Museum. So we had to chug ours.
Oh, well, nothing like being buzzed and seeing a Van Gogh painting. You probably need to be buzzed to look at a Van Gogh painting. So how was the
Exactly.
Van Gogh Museum?
Okay, so after going to the Heineken to that, it was a little bit more somber
Oh,
because the story of Van Gogh, which I learned that's how you pronounce it.
oh, excuse
I
me.
know. No, it's okay. I didn't know. I
It ain't
was
Van Gogh, people. No Van
no,
Gogh.
it's Van Gogh. It was so sad. You really see his story. You hear about his mental state. You get an audio. I want to say ours was just the quick version of the audio. We kind of
Hmm.
went through it pretty quickly, and they go really well into detail about his story. So if you're looking at booking these two tours, they are not close. You can't run from one to the other. It's maybe like a 10-minute walk from one to the other. So keep that in mind. And that's a speedy walk. I'm a slow walker. So I was out of breath, shin splints. I also brought the wrong pair of shoes to Europe. So that was super unfortunate of me. But yeah, it was really somber compared to a Heineken tour. So
So you
sad.
got your
Very
high
sad.
and a high and a low, all within
Exactly.
the same span of time. Now, in terms of, I've got to ask because, it's all about the food for me, especially
Hmm.
going across the pond. I'd want to be eating something. So, any good spots you recommend?
Ooh.
Breakfast?
Ooh, we tried out this like Instagram worthy breakfast spot called Logum. I think that's how
Hmm.
you pronounce it. Delicious. And we also tried this famous like Fable frite. It's their super well-known French fry where it's like got the mayo on it and the seasoning. It's the
Mm.
very typical Amsterdam thing to do.
I do love French fries with mayonnaise. That's my thing. I like it more than ketchup.
Interesting. I did not know this about you.
Yes, yes, yes. I know over there they also like to do French fry sandwiches where they put it on like bread with butter. Uh,
Yes, we did not
uh,
have them. I will say that.
Now, a little birdie told me that even though you're not a club person, you did go to the biggest club in Amsterdam.
I did. I'm not, I used to be that girl who was like, oh, let's go out, let's go dancing. Escape is the name of this one.
Uh-huh.
It was wild. Didn't feel like super huge, but it still was very spacious. Played a lot of different like types of music. And I'm gonna tell you this, Jason. I am a big jazz like sax girly, SAX, like saxophone. And they got the saxophone guy out there, and I am screaming my head off because I loved it. And that was the club experience with like lots of confetti, the typical thing.
And then I realized you thought Saks Fifth Avenue. I was like,
No.
which one are we talking about here? Well, that sounds
It
fun.
was so fun. Such a good time. Stay out late though. Be prepared for that. And then the post McDonald's club. So always a good time.
Well, and also, didn't you unleash your inner cat lady?
I did. Okay, so I everyone knows I have a cat, like everyone in my life, and probably everyone on this podcast listening.
We have mentioned it quite a few times.
We went to the cat and cabinet. I made people like my friends go with me because I really wanted to see it.
And tell the audience what that is.
It is a cat museum. And
Hmm.
so it's not like you're going to go in there and see all of these stuffed cats that have been deceased now. It's just like these art galleries that have cat paintings, and there's maybe two or three actual live cats. But I did get my cat fix by petting all the cats I could find, and they were so lovely. And I cried a little bit because I missed my cat. I was like, Peanut, she is here. So it was great. And that one was something I really didn't expect to see in Amsterdam. I don't think that's everyone's first choice of things to do in Amsterdam, but
Well,
it
I
was,
don't know if my first thing to do in Amsterdam would be to go to the cat cabinet, but I think that is
yes,
always a great option,
exactly.
for something a little off unusual. And we do love weird and wonderful here and anything off the beaten path. So that works for
Exactly.
me. Now, let's flip it because let's move on
Hmm.
from Amsterdam.
Okay.
You
Uh,
also did London.
I did. It was different.
Now, what do you mean?
I have been to London. It's been many years. And at the time, I think my eyes were huge. Like they were so excited about London and I loved it that go round. But after going to Amsterdam and then straight to London, I was like, oh man, I miss Amsterdam. And that was also in part because there was so many issues getting to London in the first place.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So we booked a train from Amsterdam to London.
Now, how long of a trip was that?
That was going to be 4 hours. It was only going to be 4 hours, which honestly, in the grand scheme of things, you see like the countryside, it's beautiful. You're set. You don't have to move. You just kind of sit there for 4 hours and you watch the world kind of pass you by a little bit. That did not happen for us, unfortunately.
Oh,
Yeah, because the day before we were meant to leave, we get an email from the train saying, your trip has been canceled. We are going to give you a refund. And it was all due to Amsterdam strikes going on, and they just wanted a pay raise. But it put a huge wrench in our plan, which obviously is their point. It's the point to do.
only a pay raise, just
I
only a pay
know,
raise.
just a pay raise.
We
And
support you,
we do.
workers
The whole time
striking.
I was like, 3% is nothing, give it to them. So we had to find alternative things. And this is not just us, obviously. So it's like hundreds of people who had booked this. So the next available one booked out within 20 minutes. The next available train, all of them were getting booked. And so eventually we were like, okay, let's look at buses. So buses to get to Brussels, all the buses were getting booked. We finally got one at the ninth hour, which left at 7 a.m. And so the next morning, the guy was late.
Oh,
Yeah. So we were late to getting onto the train from Brussels, and we were all in a panic because the metro was on strike in Brussels.
my goodness,
So
this is a series of unfortunate events.
it was so difficult. And so two of us took one route, one Uber, and another two of us took, like myself and my friend, took an Uber to the train station. It's almost like the amazing race at this point,
Mm.
seeing who can get there first, make sure that we're there. We ended up getting there first. The girls that we were with, they were 5 minutes behind us and had missed their train. So they were a whole hour behind us in getting into London. So we were just exhausted by that point.
When you finally made it to London, what would you say were your top three experiences in
Ooh,
London?
I have top three. The Portobello Road Market, that was incredible. The
Why?
Harry, oh, that, have you seen Notting Hill?
Oh,
Please.
the Julia Roberts movie.
Yes,
You got to tell the people what the Portobello Market is.
of course. So it's just this open road market where you kind of walk down Portobello Road, and it's got these beautiful vintage shops. It's got like clothing shops. I got this beautiful quilt jacket that I am obsessed with. And they've got all of these fruit stands, restaurants you can stop into, you can buy books. I wish we had more of it here in the US, but like just an open road market. Truly, that's what it was. And you can find the coolest places there. I walked into a store that was selling like vintage Chanel for like $15,000. And she's like, "Oh, but this is cheap compared to off the runway." I was like, "I mean, yeah, girl, but I don't have a $15,000 budget." But
Just a little
still,
spare change.
exactly. It was still so fun to walk into to see. And we got like a little bit of bites there too. And it's almost like a farmer's market towards the end
Oh,
of it.
nice.
So, highly recommend doing that. It does get busy closer to like the middle of the day, end of the day.
Live out your Julia Roberts Notting Hill experience at the Portobello
Truly.
Market, which does not sell portobello mushrooms. Now, did you not tell me, or did I hear that you also lived out a little bit of your Hogwarts fantasy?
Yes, we did. It was so fun. So this one's not in London.
Okay.
It's in a little place called Watford, about an hour outside of London. And you
Okay.
take a bus that they've got going, and it's their studio tour. You walk
Oh,
in, you are literally right in the spot where they're filming like the Great Hall, or you get behind the scenes of the work and the craftsmanship that it took to create the world of Harry Potter. And it's just so cool. You got pictures, you could ride on the broomsticks. It was incredible. I loved every part of that. We were also very tired that day, but shout out to our tour guide, Miguel. He was incredible, or our bus driver, Miguel. Incredible guy, funniest guy ever, too. But it was really cool. A fun little place to go, especially since I've read them all. I've listened to the audiobooks on my spare time just because, and it's my comfort movie. So I have no words. That was just, I got to show you
and
all the pictures.
well, we'll have to share them with everybody. And what was rounding out in the third spot?
I don't know if I can pick. If I have to say my third favorite spot, it's hard to pick. I'm going to give you two. I'm going to cheat the system. I'm
Hmm?
giving you two. I really liked Churchill Arms, which is also a very trendy place. Very fun. Churchill Arms is like a little bar and restaurant. Beautiful building that has ivy growing off the side. And it's got some history to it. We didn't actually look up the history. We sat there, we got some really good Thai food because they've got Thai food in the back.
Pausing during edit to let you guys know a little bit about its famous roots. It was created in 1750, but Winston Churchill's grandparents actually frequented the pub itself often. So that's half of the connection. The other half is the Thai food we had. It is the first London pub to serve Thai food. So pretty cool. Other than that, we're going to let you get back.
Hmm.
Um, and we just played like card games. And I think having some downtime like that with your friends during a very quick-paced vacation is a little bit needed, especially in those smaller moments. And so I really liked that. Since I'm cheating the system, my other one that was surprising to me, and one I didn't do on my first tour of London, was the Tower of London, because you got to see the crown jewels. You walk the grounds of kind of what used to be the epicenter of London itself. It was really where everyone lived in this kind of small area. Yeah. And we walked through where the dungeons were, or where, you know, Lady Jane Grey was put as a prisoner. It's not to be a little bit morbid, but it is a very historic place and has some deep and a little bit more of that gruesome history of London, which I think
Well,
is good to know
I'm all
about.
down for the macabre. Give me the gruesome. Tales. Sounds fun to me. Well,
Yes.
it sounds like you had quite the adventure filled with highs, lows, and
Uh,
sideways shenanigans.
yes, it was so fun. Next time we should take Curious Caravan on the road to London.
Well, I don't know about London. I think Amsterdam sounds like,
Ah, I think that's where we should go. I love Amsterdam. Uh,
but I'm not staying in a pod, so that's not happening. I need some breathing room.
I
But
understand.
well, folks, I this was Lizette's European vacation.
So fun.
Hopefully this has given you some ideas if
Yes,
you are ever on your way to Amsterdam or London, because while we love to feature our locations that are weird, wonderful, and everything between here in the United States, sometimes it's fun to get outside of our comfort zone and outside of the box and travel elsewhere. So
exactly.
until next time, stay curious, our wonderful people. Have a good one.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this adventure. We hope you enjoyed the journey as much as we did.
Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review Curious Caravan on your favorite podcast platform. It helps more curious minds like you find us.
And if you're hungry for more, follow us on social for extra content and behind the scenes sneak peeks.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep being curious, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Curious Caravan.